Hi guys, you join me in session. I'm back down at St Ives Fishery. I'm on Shallow Lake at the moment. It's very hard going. It's the first week in April and the lake hasn't done a fish since the start of October. So it's extremely tough. Very tricky lake, this one anyway. I'm hoping to do a bit more time on this lake this year, especially through the spring. And try and spend a bit more time on the whole complex as a whole really this year. Try and put a few of them better fish on the bank. I did do a session a couple of weeks ago on Shallow as well, just to kind of try and get to know the lake. Spoke to a few of the anglers, a few of the bailiffs, did a bit of homework. Was going to film that session, but in the end I decided not to. Don't want to bore you with blank after blank. I mean, it's going to be a long season, especially on a lake like this. It's not a massive stock of fish, a couple of fish per acre from what I gather, but I am chasing a 50-pounder and it's got a couple of nice backup fish as well, a high 40, a few low to mid 40s, so one or two of them this year will be more than welcome. It is going to be a big challenge. I said it's a 15 acres this lake, very weedy, extremely rich with naturals. The fish have seen everything. It's all been thrown at them. Some of the top anglers in the country have hit their wits against these fish at some point or other. Extremely windy today. You know, it feels very cold in that wind. I decided to fish on the back of the wind. It doesn't feel like April at all. It still feels like November, to be honest. But I'll give it a go. On my last session I did manage a couple of tench, so that's positive. You know, obviously the rigs are working, the spots were working. So hopefully throughout the season I can put a fish or two on the bank and share that with you guys. Whether I film every session or not, I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Give you a little look at the lake and everything I'm doing in a bit. Yeah, a 50-pounder would be some sort of a reward this season. Fish named after Dave Lane, named Laney's. He's never caught that fish, but he caught it from another lake and stocked it in here with permission many years ago, and I think it was about £19 when it went in, and last year it came out at 51, 52. It's a difficult fish to catch though. It only sort of does one, sometimes two catches a season. So it's going to be a hard year. The rewards are there. I'm going to keep trying, keep plugging away, share it with you guys, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be mine at some point. Until later on guys, cheers man. Cheers guys. Well guys, 2 nights in now. I didn't bother giving an update yesterday as the weather was horrendous. 50-mile-an-hour winds, lashing rain. Luckily I was on the back of it. I didn't fancy being the boys on the other bank because it was a bit mental yesterday. But to be honest, there wasn't a lot to report. Nothing's happened. Up until this morning I'd only seen one fish show, and that was right out in the middle. But the wind went calm last night, eased off, weather totally changed, a lot colder last night, and this morning the fish started to show. The fish are showing just to my left and over the far side, but I'm hoping they're going to move on to me at some point. But it's tough going. It's still early season, I've got a lot to learn on this lake yet. The wind's now started coming towards me, so that might benefit me, it might not. But yeah, it's a lot to learn with any new water. Can't expect too much to start with. Plus it's a very, very tough water. You know, a couple of fish this year and I'll be very, very happy, especially if they're the right ones. You know, there's some very big fish in here and some very sought after fish, so to get my hands on 1 or 2 of them would be unbelievable. But we'll keep trying, keep plodding. Give you a look around the swim in a minute, show you my tactics and what I'm doing. And if nothing else happens, I'll probably update you tomorrow. Don't want to bore you too much with the constant updates of nothingness really, but thoroughly enjoying it. I love this sort of fishing. I love this place. This lake is really, really nice. I mean, I didn't really take much notice of it last year because I just fished meadow and over the road on lagoon, a couple of nights on Long Reach, but I only did 1 night on here. But I hadn't even really walked around it this year. I wanted to give it a good go, and yeah, I am enjoying it. I do like this lake. Hopefully I can get amongst them at some point and share that. So for now, until later on, cheers guys. Right guys, I'll just give you a little look at my swim. As we come down the path, on the left side of the path is the area between Big Fjords and Stake Pit, and on the right side of the path is Shallow Pit. So as we continue to walk down the path towards the bivvy area, we come into the swim, see my bivvy there, rods down here, boat there if you need it, get weeded up or snagged up. And as we come to the front of the swim, as you can see, we're in the main body of a lake here, swim called the End of Island swim. Look down to my left, right down to the bottom end of the lake, big open water space here, and then to the right of the swim you've got that big long island, and then the area either side that goes up to the out of bounds. It's hard to gauge from this swim how big this actual lake is, because there's a lot of water to my right, a lot of snaggy areas, perfect sanctuary for the carp, great area. This is kind of one of the swims that they've got to come through to go up this side of the island. Obviously they can go the other side, so the swims over there the same, sort of in and out, lots of water, very snaggy, very weedy, very natural, full of natural food. Unbelievable lake. Stunning lake, and a lake I'll be spending a lot of time on this year. As for where I'm fishing, I've got one out towards the island in that gap, and then two out in open water, just on some clearer areas that I found. Put some bait on them over the last few weeks, and hopefully as the season progresses, if I get back in the swim, I'll keep them spots going, and at some point that'll pay off for me. But there you are guys, that's a little look at my swim. So as we come back round, there's my bivvy there, see a lake behind me, water everywhere here, and then literally go further on up the path and just keep on going. That goes round and carry on to the next swim on this little causeway all the way around the lakes. Unbelievable here, peaceful, natural, great place to spend some time and fish. I absolutely love it down here. Hopefully a few fish aren't too far away. There you are guys, so until later on, cheers guys. Right guys, I just thought I'd run you through my bait for the session. There's still a bit of weed out there, plus some new growth starting to come through, so I want to clean them spots off. Sort of picked a few swims and a few areas I want to target for the year, and hopefully I'll try and keep some bait going in and keep the spots clear, because it does get very weedy in this lake. So to do that, I've got hemp and groats. The groats have been soaked in liver liquid. I've only gone for that at the minute because the water's still quite cold. Later on I will add other things to it to bulk that particle mix up. And then for boilie, I've got the FSB, but I've got dumbbells, and what I've done with them dumbbells is I've chopped them. So there are lots of different shapes, like little triangles, squares, everything, something totally different to what the fish are used to seeing. That's also been soaked in the liquid food complex. And then on the hook at the moment, I've just got 12mm cork ball matching FSB boilies, which I make myself. I make them for spar baits and for the team. So if anybody uses our baits and wants some cork balls, let me know and I'll get them made up for you, no problem. But that's a nice little bait just to go over the top of them bits and pieces. I don't want anything too big or too blatant. hopefully when them spots are cleared I'll go on to little cork dust wafters. But for now, that's my tactics. Like I said, I'm stick to that boilie all year now, try and introduce it, put quite a bit in, trying to keep going and try and get the fish used to it, and hopefully it'll pay off down the line and throughout the season. So pretty much, that's my bait. Obviously I'm still using the same rig as I always do, slip T rig. I use it for bottom bait and my pop-up fishing. I will slightly alter it a bit once the weed starts to come up. I'll go to slightly stronger components because it is so very weedy, this lake, and obviously the last thing you want is your rig to fail you on a very big fish. So there you are guys, that's it for now, until later on. Cheers guys. Well guys, it's another night done. No action. The fish have been active again this morning, but they're to my right at the moment, a bit further out, probably 3/4 of the way across the lake. The lake's very busy, so there's no chance of moving, so I've kind of just got to sit still and hope they move on to me. To be fair, they do seem very nomadic at the minute. Every morning they're in a different place, so there's every chance. I mean, I've got one more night to go, so it might happen, it might not. But like I said, I'm in no rush. It happens when it happens. It's early days, I'm still learning the lake, I'm still learning different swims, trying to find some spots, trying to get some spots going for myself. And eventually, hopefully, the rewards will come. But carp fishing on this sort of lake, it's tough going. You've got to take the rough with the smooth, and you're going to have a lot of blank nights. But when that alarm finally goes, there's every chance it could be a 50-pounder. And that to me is the ultimate buzz in carp fishing. Effort equals reward, and you do have to put in a lot of effort, so a lot of effort equals big rewards. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like I said, it's early days, the water's still fairly cold. It doesn't give up its residents easy, this lake, and hopefully at some point I will be able to share a fish or two with you guys. I won't drag things on too long, I don't want to bore you to death, it's a fishing video and I know you guys want to see fish, but it's the nature of this type of fishing. It's definitely an eye-opener to anybody that wants to try these sort of lakes. You've got to be willing to put in the time and effort. Some of the best anglers in the country fish on these lakes, and even them guys have to work hard at it. But like I say, I'll keep trying and I'll update you later on if something happens. If not, I'll update you in the morning before I go home and give you my final rundown. But for now guys, cheers guys. Well, good morning guys. Another quiet night. Everything's packed away, just the rod's out now. Probably give it another hour. Then I'll reel in, get the kit on the barrow, get back round in the car and get down the motorway. No fish this time, but going to be many blanks on this lake. Thoroughly enjoyed it though, learned a lot, always learning. I can't wait to get back. I'm not going to be back now for a while, probably 3 or 4 weeks, because I've got family commitments, plus I've got a week-long social on Hunt's Corner at Linear for Mike's birthday. I booked the whole lake out exclusively. There's 10 of us going, so that should be a nice trip. Get to see some of the lads, have a barbie, just relax, and hopefully put a few fish on the bank there, get a bend in the rod, and I'll probably video that and share that with you guys. But I can't wait to get back here, and it won't be too long. The lake will have totally changed by the time I get back. The lilies will be up, and hopefully we can nick a fish next time. But it'll come when it comes. The journey is as important as the final destination, so that's all for me for now guys. Tight lines until next time. Cheers guys.